Bowl titles, defining moments for Al Davis, known for acquiring veterans like George Blanda to lead the way. Cornerback Willie Brown became a Raider, a Super Bowl champ and Hall of Famer. Former Colt Ted Hendricks picked up 3 rings as a Raider on his way to Canton. And Jim Plunkett, from NFL reject to Super Bowl MVP. It's been the Raiders' way, and now they call on the arm of ex-Giant Jeff Hostetler. He's won the big one before. Can he lead this Raider team back to ultimate glory? Other new faces, fullback Tom Rathman, another Super Bowl veteran from San Francisco. Underused halfback Harvey Williams from Kansas City, along with Super Chief, 4-time Pro Bowl cornerback Albert Lewis. The pieces have been placed. Is 1994 the year the Raiders are poised to be Super Bowl proud again? From the Astrodome in Houston, Texas, NBC Sports in its 30th year with the NFL presents the final preseason game, the Los Angeles Raiders and the Houston Oilers. Good afternoon, everyone. Dick Enberg with Bob Trumpy. We welcome you to our final preseason game. It all starts for real next weekend. And the Los Angeles Raiders proudly can point to the fact they're the only AFC team to win the Super Bowl since 1979. And Art Shell, in his 6th year, when we asked him yesterday, how good are these Raiders? And what did he say?
It jumped out of his mouth, Dick. He said, this is the best team I've ever coached.
And they realistically have hopes to get to the Super Bowl, as do the Houston Oilers. And one of the reasons the Los Angeles Raiders are confident is they've rebuilt a running game that was 2nd worst in productivity in the league last year.
Yeah, they went out and got some players that they think will help immediately. First of all, from the Kansas City Chiefs, as you saw in the tease, Harvey Williams, big, strong, fast, and underused at Kansas City. He's at least fresh. And then they got experience, they got Super Bowl rings, they got character from San Francisco and Tom Rathman. But last night, Tom Rathman said, you know, from my years at San Francisco, you can't have running back by committee. What he's telling Art Shell is you got to find 2, Art, and leave him out there on the field as much as you can.
Well, Rathman is teamed with Williams, where the starters are Ty Montgomery and Matt McCallum. Maybe he's campaigning for that starting bid from a week away. Well, the Houston Oilers, they won their last 11 regular season games. More meaningful, perhaps, to the Oilers and their quarterbacks is the fact that that tight end represents a new offense. In fact, it isn't just run and shoot. Yesterday, Carlson and Sean Salisbury, we'll see plenty of him. Bucky Richardson having to deal with, in essence, 3 offenses to start this year. And as we wrap up the preseason, it's the Los Angeles Raiders. They've won 3 of their 4 games to receive. Al Del Greco to kick it off from the 30. Alexander Wright and Harvey Williams wait. Number 22 Williams at the Raider 8-yard line. 20 runs through a tackle and is down at the 32-yard line. The Los Angeles Raiders with the big offensive line of Perry, Wisniewski, the Pro Bowler, veteran Mosbar, Kevin Gogan from the Dallas Cowboys, and Greg Skrepenik, who replaces at least for today Bruce Wilkerson. Jeff Hostetler, the ex-Giant, Ty Montgomery, and Matt McCallum, the running backs that start. The speedster Alexander Wright. Tim Brown caught 80 balls last year. Andrew Glover is the tight end. When they go to the Bear offense, they bring in a 3rd wide receiver. They go with Darryl Hobbs, James Jett, and Tim Brown. And Vince Evans is going to start. Word yesterday was it would be Hostetler, so Evans comes out throwing on 1st down. Almost intercepted by the middle linebacker, Al Smith. Intended for Napoleon McCallum.
Dick, with the new rules in the NFL, coaches are taking no chances with starting invaluable players. They got Vince Evans starting because they've seen enough of what Haas can do. If he would get hurt in this game, if you put him on injured reserve, he's lost for the year and his salary is eaten up. So we've seen this a lot in the preseason, and in the last preseason, coaches want health of their starters first priority.
Evans at 39, the oldest quarterback in the league. 2nd and 10, and it's Tyrone Montgomery pulled down by the jersey, but maybe more than that as a flag goes down. Lamar Lathan, who has moved from linebacker to defensive end, and it appears got a piece of the mask. Referee is Bob McElwee, and these two teams know.
Number 57 defense.
It is Lathan. They do know the sound of the microphone from the referee, these two teams.
And you see Lathan engaged with the offensive tackle. Desperation pulls the face mask down. I think the more important thing is I think the NFL is going to have to deal with this situation now when these last exhibition games you're not seeing some of the starting players throughout the league. Some feel might shortchange the fans if they're paying premium dollar. I want to see my starting quarterback out there.
Second down and short, and Ty Montgomery darts through a hole and a first down at the 47-yard line. Defensively, the Oilers' Kenny Davidson, the ex-Steeler, starts at one end position. Childress, the Pro Bowler, Glenn Montgomery, and Lamar Lathan moves to the line. Eddie Robinson, Al Smith, Michael Barrow. Jack Purdy calls it the brightest group of backers he's ever seen. Dishman, Lewis, McDowell, Robertson. It's a young, very talented secondary for Houston, and it goes deep. Steve Jackson and Blaine Bishop come in the dime. First down, Raiders at their own 47. Ty Montgomery to the 49-yard line. Lathan there to make the tackle with Al Smith.
Dick, when this young man came out of the University of Houston, he was an outside linebacker. The choice this year by Jeff Fisher, the defensive coordinator, to move him to a defensive end, held by Andrew Glover, 87. Still fought off the block, but that's a tight end blocking on a defensive end. Lathan should win. That's Jeff Fisher. Lathan should win all those battles. What they want to do is keep Lathan in space, that is, away from these 320 and 30-pound offensive tackles. Give him a better chance.
Second down, 8. And Evans to throw. Into the flat. Montgomery didn't have time to look for the ball. Well covered by Eddie Robinson. And it might have been deflected by defensive tackle Glenn Montgomery, who was in Evans' face. Art Shell, it's his 6th year as the head coach, but his life since age 21 has been with the Raiders as an all-pro player, as an assistant coach, and now as a head coach. And in talking with the men that will answer his challenge through the season, they all say you have to have respect for him. The Raiders truly have been his adult life, and when he talks about tradition and challenge, they listen.
I'll continue with that after this play.
Third and long for Evans. Goes deep. James Jett. Well covered. Bo Orlando. And Evans slow getting up, and we have our first skirmish. These two teams, the most penalized teams in the NFL last year.
78.
And roughing the passer is the call against Keith McCants, the former #1 pick of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So that will give the Raiders, instead of a punt situation, a first down on the penalty as they march it down inside the 40-yard line to the Oiler 36.
Dick is not. He is forthright and right in the player's face. They know where they stand with him.
First down at the 36. The toss to Montgomery. Good blocking on the corner, and Montgomery with speed is to the 26-yard line. Chris Dishman and Bubba McDowell in the secondary make the hit.
Nice lead block by Napoleon McCallum. You'll see him come from the left-hand side of the screen. He gets right through Lathan, 57. That's picture perfect for you young football players out there. You're taught in the NFL you don't block to a player, you block through a player. And there is no question that Rathman knows, but I didn't know that Napoleon McCallum was that kind of blocker. Excellent lead.
And Montgomery averaging 5.5 a carry as he picks up a 10-yard plus on that sweep to the 26. First possession of the game. Montgomery in trouble and eats it at the 29. A loss of 3. Invading was Eddie Robinson and Kenny Davidson. Davidson, number 90 of the Oilers. Last year with the Steelers had 2.5 sacks, and here in the preseason this year with 3 sacks to lead Houston, who are without Sean Smith and Sean Jones and William Fuller, who between them had 23 sacks a year ago.
And Davidson, they figured when they got him, was just a run stopper, but he does have some pass rush skill. What he has to do, though, is be on the field all day long. That's what Fuller and Jones were. They never left the field.
Second and long. Evans to Tim Brown, first and goal at the 8-yard line. Chris Dishman on the coverage, and Brown, who had a sensational season a year ago, first Raider ever to catch 80 balls in a season.
You're going to see the Houston Oilers come with the blitz. It's picked up beautifully by the Los Angeles Raiders. That means single coverage, and with the new Chuck rules and with the new cushion that the receivers are allowed, you see Dishman can't make contact. Brown, a nice sharp cut. Perfect completion by Vince Evans. First down, 20-yard pickup.
Just inside the 8-yard line, McCallum. And the Oilers burrowing low. Glenn Montgomery, the 6-footer, 282 pounds, makes the stop, and down go the yellow flags again.
That's the combination of Lathan, 57, and Glover, the tight end, 87. I don't know who they call it on.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, 57 defense. Half the distance to the goal line, first down.
So 2 personal fouls against the Oilers in this opening series.
There was a right cross thrown by Lathan. He gets caught, and first and goal Raiders.
Ball spotted just outside the 3-yard line. Vince Evans. That's McCallum and Montgomery behind him, and Brown in motion. Montgomery hit by Davidson, falls forward for a half yard.
Dick, there was no move there at all by Montgomery. You're not going to get a big push and shove in most instances on the goal line. You would hope he cuts back in. See Gogan trying on Childress, and if McCallum gets the block a little bit, if he veers it back in, he's going to gain a yard or 2.
Spotted at the 2-yard line as Tom Rathman makes his first appearance, number 44. He teams with McCallum, so they go with the 2 big backs. Following Rathman, and the Oilers are saying they have the football. But it's just a stop down at the 1-yard line by Mike Teeter and Al Smith. Third and goal at the 1. So a yard on each of the first 2 shots by Art Shell's Raiders. Actually, the ball just inside the 2. Oh, it's a long yard and a half. Evans under pressure. Throws incomplete to McCallum at the goal line. Broken up by Bubba McDowell. Michael Barrow, 56, was the man hawking Evans from the backside.
Bearing down on him. Vince just barely got that pass off. I'm kind of surprised. They've got 3 tight ends in the game, 2 running backs. McCallum is the primary receiver. This is certainly a concession on the Raiders' part. If you're trying to improve your running game, part of it is upstairs. Psychologically, Dick, they're going for the field goal here, but I would think Art Shell would like to hammer the ball right into the line of scrimmage as opposed to that little bootleg pass.
20-yard attempt by Jeff Jager, who nails it. He's 8 for 9 in the preseason. Led the NFL in scoring a year ago. Kicked 35 field goals. The Raiders strike first, 3-0. Yard field goal is Jeff Fisher, the defensive coordinator, chatting with Lamar Lathan.
I think he's going to have a lot of conversations with Lamar Lathan early in this season. It's a tough transition going from linebacker to defensive end, and Jeff Fisher, first year as a defensive coordinator, coaching the 46, is going to spend a lot of time trying to get this young man up to speed.
Travis Hanna and John Henry Mills, Skill Mills he calls himself, are deep as Jager lines one to Hanna. Across the 20 and down at the 27-yard line. A reminder, later tonight NBC Sports will Barcelona, one of the sprinters on that coverage down after making that tackle. And with 9:01, we'll take this time out. Oilers first possession at the 27-yard line, and they start with the tight end, Pat Carter, number 46 on the right side. Cody Carlson to Carter, well covered by Eddie Anderson. Carter has caught 3 passes in the preseason. The offense for Houston: Hopkins, Flannery, arguably the best lineman in football. Bruce Matthews at center, Donnelly and David Williams. Protecting Cody Carlson, Spencer Tillman, former Oklahoma star, Haywood Jeffries, Pat Coleman, Ernest Gibbons, and Reggie Brown in the run and shoot. But Pat Carter in the muscle as they go with 3 wides and the tight end start the game. Carter known for his blocking talent with the Los Angeles Rams, and Jack Pardee pleased with how well he's caught it as well. 10, a draw. Not much there for Spencer Tillman. Gains a yard. It'll be 3rd and 9 as Winston Moss makes the tackle. Scott Davis, away from football a couple of years, a top pick of the Raiders, returns. Jerry Ball, the ex-Brown and Lion. Nolan Harrison and Anthony Smith, 2 young Tigers on the right side. Aaron Wallace, Greg Biekert of Colorado is the new middle linebacker. Winston Moss is the spirit of this defense. McDaniel and Albert Lewis, the ex-chief at the corners. Derek Hoskins and Eddie Anderson at safety. In the dime, Mike Jones, the best cover linebacker, comes in along with Dan Land and James Trapp. On 3rd down 9, Carlson. Incomplete to Ernest Gibbons. Well covered by Albert Lewis.
Dick, that was an ugly first series of a game there. They try to show something with the tight end in the first 2 snaps. Rollout didn't work, little slant didn't work, and then you know, if you've got a new quarterback, that's Kevin Gilbride, the offensive coordinator, I'd want this to be as simple as possible. Yes, he's been here for 7 years, but at the same time it's now his responsibility to run the offense. They've made it a little more complicated.
Darryl Hobbs deep for the Raiders as Rich Camarillo, the new punter in Houston, a Pro Bowler with Phoenix. Hobbs trouble and covers at the 24-yard line. He's done very little wrong this preseason. He's been a Raiders star this summer, Darryl Hobbs, and we have a timeout. Dome, Dick Enberg with Bob Trumpy, and joining us down on the field, John Dockery.
Thank you, Jeff. You know, you've been talking all along about what the Raiders want to do in this game. They want to avoid injuries. James Trapp, a little while ago, the cornerback on that kickoff, was hurt. You see ice on his knee on the bench. They said it's nothing serious, just precautionary. He probably won't play anymore. Back to you.
All right, Doc. First down for the Raiders, leading 3-0 inside their 25-yard line. And a big hole for Tyrone Montgomery, and he shoots out to the 38-yard line and a first down. And Montgomery, who's had a solid summer, he's trying to deny Harvey Williams that starting spot.
Dick, as you look at this play, watch the left guard and left tackle pull. This is an outstanding job by Wisniewski. Actually, it's Napoleon McCallum who leads up through, so it's a guard fullback pull. Montgomery does have the speed. Well done. That's the way you like to have them executed. Art Shell and Gene Upshaw used to do that very well for the Oakland Raiders.
14 yards for Montgomery on first down, and nothing there for Napoleon McCallum, the lieutenant. Stopped at the line of scrimmage as Big Glenn Montgomery backed up by Michael Barrow. Los Angeles Raiders in this summer and year of change of personnel. Jerry Ball, Kevin Gogan, a Super Bowler from Dallas. He's part of that improved running game. Albert Lewis, one of the best ever at the corner. Tom Rathman brings a couple of Super Bowl rings with him. Harvey Williams, the young LSU running back, and Jamie Williams, the veteran tight end from San Francisco, the new Raider faces.
Blitz.
Oh, Evans in your face as he delivered that ball, and the flag goes down in the secondary. And Evans just did release that one.
That's one of those characteristics of the Buddy Ryan, now Jeff Fisher 46 defense.
And illegal use of the hands against the Oilers. It appeared to be Bubba McDowell who shot through.
Illegal contact, number 28, defense. 5 yards, automatic first down.
Dishman the penalty. Trying to stop Alexander Wright.
Now you see the chuck, although it looks like the receiver runs into Dishman. But here's the blitz. This is the one thing that Buddy Ryan brought to this defense in Houston that Jeff Fisher has kept. And that is he's got two choices. You either rush or defend. And at some point, defensive coordinators want to stop momentum. You rush. The blitz worked, but the penalty gives them a first down.
7 first downs for the Raiders, 3 of them on penalties. At the 44-yard line, McCallum gets a couple. Eddie Robinson and Al Smith, a couple of backers in on the stop.
Again, now, Dick, it looks like one of the things that the Raiders are going to do, watch the pulling. From the offside, it's both Perry and Gogan, the near side guard. And Gogan at over 315 pounds. He doesn't have to pull far, just get a little momentum going his way. He is going to crush rock, buildings, leather, plastic, anything in his way.
Raiders working on that rushing game. Evans after the pump fake. And pulled down by Ray Childress, the veteran from Texas A&M. 5-time Pro Bowler.
He's got the
Simply will Davidson and Lathan and whomever on the outside be able to do the kind of work that they got the last few years. Eddie Robinson, the linebacker, touchdown Houston. Robinson, the third-year backer from Alabama State, the recipient of Blaine Bishop's pressure on Vince Evans. Bishop coming in from a safety spot.
Dick, one of the
Point. And Rich Camarillo. He is the holder. First time in 14 years he has held. And he hasn't run too many. So it remains 6-3 on the high snap. So with 5 minutes plus remaining in the opening quarter, the Oilers defense gives them the lead. Defense led the NFL a year ago with 6 defensive touchdowns.
Dick, watch Vince Evans and him set up and how quick the pressures are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sets. Bam. Lathan 57 from the rights there. Bishop 23 is in his face. Robinson picks the ball up. Did I hear correct? That's called a fumble.
It is a
return
fumble.
for a touchdown. Here's Lathan again. Montgomery 21 tries to get a block. I mean, that's as fast as you can get to a quarterback, Dick. He's set up. They're there.
40 yards for Robinson and the touchdown. And for Lamar Lathan, he gets a daily double. Not only a sack, but a forced fumble. 6-3. And Del Greco to kick it off. The Raiders use Calvin Jones and number 85 Charles Jordan. Calvin Jones, the rookie from Nebraska at the 11. And again from Omaha, went to the same high school as the great Gale Sayers in that city. Gets it to the 25-yard line.
Yeah, he was a part of that running back set at Nebraska they called the Weebacks. He and the young man who was drafted by the New Orleans Saints. They have been did an awful lot of damage to an awful sure.
Billy Joe Holbrook is the third string quarterback and Archell's 3 deep list. Trailing 6-3, and it's Montgomery trying to get outside and does. Good job by Montgomery. Nothing inside and able to use his speed to gain 6 to the 31-yard line. Bubba McDowell pushed him out of bounds. So that's 41 yards rushing in this opening quarter for Tyrone Montgomery, part of that great Montgomery clan. Wilbert Montgomery, a terrific player all those years with the Eagles, and his brother Clee was a wide receiver for the Raiders. Harvey Williams waiting his turn.
Looks like he's stretching. Looks like maybe the end of the quarter he'll come in and get his turn.
Something to discourage Tyrone Montgomery from being the starter next week at San Francisco. The Raiders open at the 49ers. Flags down. Evans is as well. And more yellow dots the green AstroTurf. Ray Childress may have jumped into the neutral zone for the first flag, and then another came down in the deep secondary. both of them against the Oilers.
Goodness.
Well, the defensive backs, because of their success, have been penalized in essence, because they're going to have a hands-off operation this year in the NFL. You can make that chuck and hit in the 5-yard zone. After that, keep your hands away, and they're calling them tough.
Offside, defense, that penalty is declined. Holding, number 28 offense. That penalty is accepted. 5 yards, automatic first down.
Dick, you're right. You called it, and that's 2 on Dishman now. Yeah, he's right up on the line of scrimmage on Tim Brown. There's the chuck.
That's okay to there, but he can't, after 5 yards, continue the hold.
Yep. And there's the cut. He wants to stay aggressive. He doesn't want to change the way he's going to play the game, but now the receivers are going to take advantage of that.
First down for Evans. Protected well and down the middle to right. Almost a one-handed catch by the former Cowboy. Wright, who has won the National Football League's fastest man contest the last 2 years, just part of this relay speed the Raiders possess at wide receiver.
Yeah, that was 2 years ago. He's not even the fastest guy on the team now. That's how quickly speed has been introduced to the Los Angeles Raiders. Nice job of trying to lay out and get that ball. Good protection again for Vince Evans. Second down and long. Just a big blitz down here for the Houston Oilers.
Evans is 1 for 5 passing. He goes on the ground to Montgomery. And Montgomery delivers again. Nearly first down yardage out to the 40-yard line. 50 yards for Ty Montgomery in the quarter.
Well, again, it certainly looks like the Raiders pulling again. Lead by McCallum. You've got Wisniewski. You've got Perry, 71. And they found a weakness on the defensive left side of the Houston Oilers, exploiting it with long pulls, short pulls, and gaining good yards.
9 yards on that carry. It's 3rd and 1. McCallum got the first down as he plows to the 47-yard line. Keith McCants and Michael Barrow collaborate on the tackle. 3 minutes 13 seconds remaining in the opening period. The Raiders scored on their first possession on a short field goal by Jeff Jager, and then the Oilers on a 40-yard fumble recovery in midair by linebacker Eddie Robinson take the lead 6-3. Missed the extra point on the high snap from center.
Notice with the new information gadgets that the NFL has, that Fred Biletnikoff is he's got the headset to the wired helmet of Vince Evans, a new innovation here in the NFL that I like.
Evans on first down. Flags down as he finds his receiver at the 39-yard line. Looked to be James Jett. 14 yards if. A flag is down back by Evans. And another penalty against the Oilers. Houston fans thinking, well, maybe that's a hold based on where the flag was dropped.
Illegal use of the hands. Number 79 defense. That penalty is declined. First down.
Ray Childress. Let's take a look.
79 on the center. Mosbar 72. Hand up to the throat. And that's what they called, and that's certainly legal.
They even call that in the World Wrestling Federation. Ball at the 39. They'll take the catch by Jett of 14 yards. Decline the penalty, and now McCallum rips off a first down and more inside the 30-yard line. And the Raiders' running game has sparkled in this first quarter.
Dick Archell told us last night the Raiders wore their pads a little more in training camp than they ever have in the past. And I said, was that to help the running game? And he said, absolutely. He said, I wanted them tougher. They're tired right now. We're running the ball better. And the only way to practice or be good at the run on Sunday or Saturday is practice very tough on Wednesday and Thursday, the running game.
You think first downs correlate with score? 11-0 in first downs. They trail 6-3. And another penalty.
I used to think that. Time of possession, first downs. Not anymore, though.
Start before the snap. Number 78 offense. 5 yards, first down.
Oiler fans cheering the first Raider penalty.
That's Skrepenek. Comes out of his stance. There's another big guy. He was Offensive left tackle, offensive left guard. Last year a right guard. Now they've got him out to right tackle. He's replacing Wilkerson today. He's another awful big fella up there next to Gogan. We're talking about blotting out the sun if they stand in the right spot.
He's been big forever. He said when he was 14 he had to carry his birth certificate with him. Prove that he was only 14. Ty Montgomery to the 30-yard line. Skrepanek from the University of Michigan. He told us last year that when he was 14, he was 6'4" and 275. He said no one would believe me, so Mom made me carry my lunch to school and my birth certificate too.
Look at his legs. Look at his calves. Look at the size of the ankles and the feet on that guy. I mean, we're talking Sequoia dimensions here.
Second down, 11 for the Raiders, who trail 6-3, final minute, first quarter. Evans deep, and Tim Brown covered by Chris Dishman, but Brown did have a step. Tim Brown, almost a Denver Bronco. They offered something like $11 million that was to be spread over multi-years, and the Raiders matched it, and Jeff Hostetler was quite influential in the Raiders keeping Brown.
I thought that was one of the smartest things that I've seen a quarterback do in a long time. Haas called both Art Shell and Al Davis and said, look, I don't know about you, I need Tim Brown out there as a receiver. Of course, Art Shell told us, well, Haas, how much of your salary do you want to give up? We can keep him, let's share it.
Third and 11 for Evans, who scrambles. Still can run well for a 39-year-old, but not enough room for a first down. Gets to the 25, and that'll bring on the field goal unit for the Raiders to try to tie it up. Bubba McDowell making another tackle in the Houston secondary. Evans always with those great legs. In fact, when you were still in the league with Cincinnati, you faced Vince Evans.
Yeah, came into the league from the Bears, and I mean, he was one of those guys that would do anything to make the team. He returned kicks for the Chicago Bears.
And apparently this first quarter will tick away, and we'll be back with a Raider field goal try. Welcome back. Second quarter. Jeff Jager, the NFL scoring champion, with 132 points a year ago, to lead all scorers, to try a 43-yard field goal to tie it at 6-all. And Jager hits it dead center. It's even at 6. Well, the Houston Oilers have added a veteran. We'll have that report when we return to the Astrodome. Second quarter. It's tied 6-all, and these numbers are testimony to the fact that one huge defensive play can make a game even in a hurry.
Yeah, 24 offensive plays for the Raiders to the Houston Oilers 3.
101 yards Los Angeles, and 1 yard of offense for Houston. Jager hits it high and short to the 16, where Travis Hanna gets to the 26-27 yard line. Well, the Oilers welcome back a veteran, and with that report we go to John Dockery.
Thank you, Dick. Of course, the news in Houston is Lorenzo White is back in the fold. I'm with General Manager Floyd Reese. And would it be fair to say that what I've heard, it's a one-year deal, $475,000, $125,000 bonus? Lorenzo White is signed?
He is signed. We don't like to discuss terms, but it's in that ballpark, and right now we're just happy to have him as part of the Houston Oilers.
He shopped himself around. I know a couple of years ago he had over 1,200 yards and hamstrings last year. Why bring him back to the Oilers?
Well, you know, we have found through history that you need more than one quality running back, even with a run and shoot team. We know that.
Dome in New Orleans, Jim Everett and the Saints, and Jets and Buffalo, another big game. Check your newspaper for local games. Long Gibbons, just a step too long. Ernest Gibbons, 506 career catches for the Houston Oilers, and still with good speed to go deep.
The field, but the Houston Oilers now in the true run and shoot. 4 wide receivers, 1 running back.
Carlson has completed over 60% of his passes in the preseason. 0 for 3 today. Not a great runner, but Rumble's close to a first down. Nice block by Reggie Brown, the wide receiver. Anthony Smith and Aaron Wallace chased him off the field of play. And they got it.
Yeah, first down, Dick, to be interrupt, but one of the problems, there's Kevin Gilbride, the offensive coordinator, when you insert a tight end into this offense, extra running backs for a two-back offense, you now have multiple offenses. It's much more about all phases of the offense.
Wide receivers to the right for Carlson on first down. 6-6 score early second quarter. Quick pop incomplete to Haywood Jeffries, who's had a good preseason.
Well, that was awful.
Catching 8 balls.
Like Haywood didn't even see it. Last year 84, now wearing 80. But that one ate him up, Dick. I'm not sure what happened there, but one of the quality receivers until last year that Houston had. A very poor year for Haywood Jeffries. Last year has worked extremely hard in training camp. A lot of extra time with Cody Carlson to get back on the upper echelon of receivers in the NFL.
If it tells you the talent of the man, the 66 catches, and that's a very poor year for him. Draw. Spencer Tillman, about to become an author, wrapped up by Greg Biekert, the middle linebacker. Tillman, who is writing a book, The Competing Game, in which he will
Mr. Brown, who has a sprained ankle for this S-back position in the run and shoot here in Houston.
Third down, Scott Davis was in the neutral zone for the Raiders. And that one not caught by Pat Coleman. Coleman, who has led the Oilers in the preseason with 13 catches, played at Mississippi.
And Dick, that was on Carlson.
Offside, number 70, defense, 5 yards, third down.
Dick, one of the things that has to work in the run and shoot is the quarterback has to be accurate. Warren Moon was. Watch that ball thrown behind. It's catchable, but you want it out in front of you if you're the receiver. That's one of the things that Cody Carlson is going to have to spend a lot of time with his receivers. Get that timing down. Get it between the numbers when they're catching the ball on the inside of the defense.
Third and short at the 45 of Houston.
Wide open.
Carlson deep to Gibbons.
Why didn't he put his hands up?
And the coverage from Eddie Anderson coming over from safety. It appeared that Gibbons had a play on the ball, and some of the fans booing the lack of effort.
I'm not sure exactly what happened here. The little sprint to the left. I think Carlson's going to Ernest Gibbons all the way. Does he see the safety or does he see the ball? Well, I don't know. It looked to me like he saw 33. It is the preseason.
He's perhaps saying, I'm not going to run my head right into that Eddie Anderson coming over at full speed. Here's Camarillo. Fair catch, Darryl Hobbs. Raiders have it at their 17-yard line. It's tied at 6. 13 minutes left in the first half. Billy Joe Hobart, number 12, comes in as the new Raider quarterback. Second-year man from Washington. Has seen some duty here in the preseason. 50% of his passes complete. Pickett scrambler as well, wearing famous number 12. Has trouble and able to recover as Glenn Montgomery had a shot at a touchdown there, and Michael Barrow was around the ball as well. That was close to 2 for 2 for the Houston defense.
He was trying to hand the ball to Tom Rathman, and it wasn't even close. He spins around. It came out of his hand before he got it to Rathman. He never had a hold of that ball, Dick. He tried it one-handed, and it, see, does it slip? Yeah, it slips right out of his hand before he even gets it in the belly of Tom Rathman, but he does make the recovery.
Did a good job of wresting it away from Michael Barrow. Second down, Harvey Williams, the former Kansas City Chief. Happy that he's a Raider. He said he's not happy to be away from Kansas City, loves the city.
Ball start, number 86, prior to the snap. 5-yard penalty, second down.
Rocket Ismail out of the blocks too soon.
You were mentioning something about Harvey Williams?
Well, but he's not happy about how he says he was treated by the Chiefs and Marty Schottenheimer last year. In fact, he is an angry young man when we talked to him. He said he's got a lot to prove. He felt he was misused and abused last year.
After his injury, the concussion, he said, I was ready to play next week. Marty kept saying he's hurt, he can't play. He said, I never got my chance. I want it here. I'm going to take advantage of it.
Second and long for Hobart. Great pass. And it's Rocket Ismail with a first down across the 30-yard line. The Rocket with his 10th catch of the summer, 21 yards on the play.
One of the interesting things about learning to play in the NFL, watch the release by Ismail. Pushes that safety in just ever so much once he passes the corner and is there to make the reception. That is a nice throw by Billy Joe Hobart. But the Houston Oilers normally a man team in zone there because of the penalties already been called on Dishman in this first half.
Hobart has a Rocket to his right and a Jet to his left. Rathman and Williams behind him, and it's Harvey Williams vaulting his way for about 11 to the 41-yard line.
And one of the things that Harvey Williams complained about last night to us is that Marty kept running me up the middle. Harvey, this is up the middle. You see Max Montoya, 65, out of retirement, semi-retirement, back, good pull. Now Harvey's big enough and quick enough off the ball that he can run inside if he wants to.
6'2" and 215. Harvey Williams, 3 years with the Chiefs, under 1,000 total. He's led the Raiders this summer with 97 yards, over the 100 mark now. Wide open again as the Rocket spinning into the open field, and then knocked down at the 29-yard line by number 29 Darrell Lewis, back from an injury a year ago. 30 more yards. Hobart to Ismail.
Dick, my opinion is the running game of the Raiders, drawing people to the line of scrimmage, allows space behind the linebackers for these guys to get open. Bubba McDowell, 25, the strong safety, inside there to watch against the run, and then you can't defense speed. I mean, you can knock it down, you can sit on it, but if guys like Ismail and Jet get a release off the line of scrimmage, there's no way to defense this speed.
Couple of big throws. Hobart to Ismail. Now Harvey Williams slices off the right side. Bubba McDowell up from a safety spot, number 25, as Jack Pardee staying with his #1 defense here in the second quarter. There's Ty Montgomery, who started at halfback and gained over 50 yards in the first quarter, watching the man competing for that starting halfback job, Harvey Williams.
At 5.3 yards per carry. That time of possession actually is going to pay off for the Los Angeles Raiders or anybody else who runs the ball well.
Eddie Robinson, number 50, who has the score for Houston with a fumble caught him off. He's replaced by Mike Teeter. Over the middle. And Alexander Wright stopped at the 21-yard line, shy of the first down by a couple.
You know, Hobart is a guy that kind of fits the Raiders image. He's big, he's strong, he's tough. He's also not wired. Well, he is wired, but he's looking to the sideline for instructions. Maybe his headset is not working, but he has the opportunity, I think, here behind Jeff Hostetler, because he's similar. He's a strong kid, can throw the ball, will take the sack, doesn't mind getting hit. I think Billy Joe is going to be around for a while.
Wearing the Snakes, number 12, Ken Stabler. And that appeared to be a state of confusion all through between period plays, and Hobart finally calls a timeout with 8:36 left in this second quarter. Well, the Los Angeles Raiders have dominated play, but have settled for a couple of field goals. Houston with only 8 offensive plays, but their big play was a 40-yard fumble return for a touchdown by linebacker Eddie Robinson. It's 3rd down and 2 at the 21 as Hobart looking for something big and throws it away. Jager apparently will try his 3rd field goal of the half. So Jeff Jager, just as he was busy last year, set a Raider team record with 35 field goals made, 44 attempts to lead the league, and 2 for 2 today. So this makes it 9 out of 10 in the summer. So things somewhat similar for the Raiders. A lot of field goal chances. That's not entirely a good sign.
I agree with you, especially 44 chances last year. That's missing a lot of opportunities inside the 20.
This one will be a 38-yard attempt, and Jager hits it through. 9 points for Jager. It's a 9-6 lead for the Raiders. 20, 38, and 42-yard field goals for Jeff Jager. Well, the regular season starts. Oh, Ditka, he doesn't have a chance when Ditka starts. No, he's bringing out his A material. The sweaters and the neckties. Greg doesn't have a chance. Down to the 5-yard line it goes to Travis Hannah. Former Southern California wide receiver returns to the 24-yard line. And the games on Sunday here as NBC kicks.
Cleveland, Cincinnati. I like that AFC Central. Houston Oilers have got a dilemma here. They bring in Sean Salisbury, but I don't think that Cody Carlson had enough work in this game, Dick.
Carlson was 0 for 5. Spencer Tillman on a handoff to the 31-yard line. Pickup of 6 yards before Derek Hoskins can make the tackle. And there's Carlson, who played here in Texas at Baylor. He's from San Antonio. 7 years of waiting behind Warren Moon.
And that's not the kind of numbers you want to have in the last exhibition game before you open against the Indianapolis Colts. I think Kevin Gilbride, Cody Carlson was hoping
for Salisbury, acquired as a free agent from Minnesota. An 8 to Tillman. And Tillman has a first down. A rarity for the Oilers out to the 38-yard line. Salisbury is battling with Bucky Richardson for the backup job. It's his. There's Bucky Richardson, but he's trying to work against a hero. This is a Texas hero, Richardson, who played at Texas A&M and has the right stuff in the eyes of those here in the Lone Star State. He said, I'll be patient. If they want me to be number 3, I will. But when you just talk to the fans in this city, they say, Bucky's going to be our man someday, and it may be sooner than you think.
4 pass attempts, and he's the next coming.
The throw by Salisbury, and not there as he tried to hit Haywood Jeffries, who's looking for a flag.
I think they want him to be number 2, regardless of the legend of Texas Bucky Richardson.
Salisbury to the sidelines and through the arms of John Henry Mills, who will work as an H-back and a part-time tight end.
I do think Houston would like to go back in the locker room, come back out, reintroduce the offense, and let's start this over again.
6:44 left in the second quarter. 9-6 half, and the shoot only 7.
Ooh. It was an ugly 7 at that.
On third down. Salisbury has the man. Richie Brown. Was he inbounds? Yes, at the 48-yard line of the Raiders. First down to Brown. Played it out.
The pass rush can't get to him, but Carlson normally, Salisbury normally throws the ball very tight spiral. That one, he tried to overthrow. Got out of round a little bit.
Oilers invade Raider territory with that 15-yard gain. Flag down, and Andre Bruce was offside and came in hard from the backside.
The offsides is obvious. Is that all they get him for?
There's also a flag in the secondary.
Offside, number 56, defense. 5 yards, first down.
There's another flag on the other side of the field, but I mean, this is kind of taking advantage of the situation here by Andre Bruce. You see David Williams, 73. He thinks the play is live. Andre Bruce was. Andre Bruce to David Williams. He's barely laying a glove on him.
Didn't hear any whistle, so he's got to wait for that. First down and 5, trailing 9-6 late in the second quarter. Tillman inside the 25 to the 24-yard line. Spencer Tillman. How many times I've watched this Tillman when he was with the 49ers and with the Oilers. You know, he always has great preseasons. He runs well and yet never wins a job as a backup runner. He's such a good special teamer.
And that's the problem.
Earns his dues there.
Yeah, and that's the problem. I think a lot of players get pigeonholed, characterized as this guy can come in and play special teams immediately. They never really get the reps at running back to find out, in fact, if they're a star.
Salisbury to Jeffries to the 27-yard line. Hit immediately by Dan Land, number 25 of the Raiders.
Dick, I think you can see with Salisbury the timing's not there. Jeffries waited a long time for that ball.
Jeffries to the left. Second down and 4. Gilbride now the assistant head coach under Jack Pardee. Dick Curry brought in, veteran offensive wizard, to help with the restructuring of this run and shoot. He's cut back and he's close to a first down again at the 24 of Los Angeles. Eddie Anderson, the hard-hitting safety, to make the stop.
There'd be a sportscaster came down here to get headaches every Sunday.
Besides this, stay with the NFL. First down underneath Jeffries. Dan Land wraps him up at the 19. Gain of about 5. And the Oilers' best drive of the game, trailing 9-6, engineered by the former Southern.
Lock the Raiders into certain defensive personnel, try to take advantage of it.
Oh, there's a whistle as action before the snap. David Williams, a right tackle, influencing the that was headline stories as the Oilers struggling out of the gate at the start of last year. 5 deflected, and fortunately for the Houston Oilers, not into a Raider arm.
Looked like Andre Bruce got his hand in there. He's having a pretty good half here, putting pressure on the quarterback. Well, he can pick it up. Does he get his hand up in there? It's either him or Scott Davis, number 70. I couldn't really tell who made the contact.
Raiders leading 9-6, just over 3 minutes to go in this first half. Third down, Houston, and 11. Little shovel pass, and Tillman tripped up and down at the 25-yard line.
One too many moves, Dick.
Scott Davis was the man there to make sure he didn't go any farther, and the Oilers are going to try a field goal to tie it. Al Del Greco. Again, Rich Camarillo, 14 years in the league, has never been a holder until this year. He's done a good job. He said, you know, the first fear you have is, will I catch the ball?
Yes.
Well, he didn't on a high snap on the extra point in the first quarter. Del Greco to try a 43-yarder to tie. Good snap. And the game is even again.
Dick, that holder must gain the confidence of the kicker. He not only catch it, but spin the laces out of the way. Now Greco hits it solidly.
2:28 left in the half. Fun wide left. Del Greco said, listen, if we're inside the 40, don't spin it. Just let it sit there, even if the laces are facing me. Outside, okay. And Camarillo said, it sounds like an easy job. But boy, the pressure, knowing how important every time you spot that ball.
Yeah, and that spot's got to be perfect, because that's where the kicker has set up his timing and placement for.
Tied at 9 with 2:28 to go, and Del Greco to kick. Toward Calvin Jones, the Nebraska rookie. Tried to run laterally and could not outrun Baron Wortham. He has been the star of the rookies in the Houston Oilers camp. He's only 5'11", but weighs 244. 24-year-old Billy Joe Hobart led a solid drive the last possession. Resulted in the third Raider field goal. He was 3 for 4 and 56 yards. Harvey Williams. Maneuvering by Williams to find a gain of about 13. Darrell Lewis.
Harvey weighs close to 220 pounds and can juke and jive out there.
26 yards.
Coverage cornerback needs a chuck. We heard from Albert Lewis last night from the Raiders that now, because the receivers are allowed a little more space off the line of scrimmage, it's hard to get a chuck on anybody at the line of scrimmage, because they've got almost 2.5 yards of a little buffer there. And so so far the people who have complained the most, I think, are the defensive backs about that one particular rule, the lack of a chuck, and also the fact that the offensive tackles and linemen can be almost back to the center's waist.
And you can't rag on a guy going downfield. Once he passes 5 yards or passes you can't have your hand on him just to feel where he is and try to influence his route. So the DBs are the ones who are under most pressure with the rule changes. That was Al Smith that made that last hit on Williams, and Hobart going deep. Rocket Ismail almost was 6 behind Dishman, and Dishman was saying, well, we're going to play them in the middle of the year, the Raiders, and this will give me a chance to measure my speed against all the lightning that the Raiders have.
And see, Dick, I think we're going to see a lot of this. You're going to see receivers open behind defensive backs because they can't make that chuck. There's a little hand fighting there. But Dishman's got good speed, but if you can't alter the receiver's pattern ever so slightly, and you're going to have a lot of receivers deeper than defensive backs, and it's up to the quarterback to get the ball to them.
Yeah, we're going to read in Agate Print on Mondays a lot of 70-yard touchdown pass, 85-yard touchdown pass.
You're right.
Dumping it off underneath the Rocket, and he has a first down and still on his feet.
Get out of bounds.
Pride and joy of Wilkesboro, Pennsylvania. Rocket Ismail with the clock going under 1 minute all the way to the Oiler 33-yard line. That was a 34-yard catch and run by Rocket Ismail. Finally, Barrow and McDowell dropping him. 3 catches, 85 yards for the Rocket in this first half.
But in the regular season, you want him in the final seconds of the half to get out of bounds. Stop the clock.
And Hobart then has to use the first down to do just that. 34 seconds left.
Every time Rocket touches the football since the first time we saw him at Notre Dame, I mean, he treats every play like it's his last play and the final play of the biggest game of his life, and he wants to score. He never gives up on a play.
Let's take a look at that fast footwork again of Ismail.
From Canada, convinced to come down here with dollars and cents. Over just a little completion. Looks like he should have been tackled there. Spins, moves, never gives up on a play.
Second down for Hobart. Underneath to Williams at the 30. And he makes it to the 23-yard line, close to another first down before Eddie Robinson has the tackle. Timeout Raiders, 25 seconds left, and a flag. No. Appeared to be a piece of jersey there. Thought we had a flag as well.
And Dick, Harvey Williams playing with a certain verve here at the end of this preseason. He wants to really leave an impression on Art Shell that anything you want me to do, I'll do, but I'd prefer starting.
There was a flag, and it's against the Raiders for clipping. Thought we'd seen one down in the midst of all the players, and Bob McElwee is going to mark off a big one against Los Angeles.
Personal foul, clipping, number 77 offense.
Rich Stevens.
15 yards, second down.
Now that takes the Raiders out of field goal range all the way back to the Houston 48. No charge timeout to the Raiders was the announcement by McElwee.
It's coming.
Picked up nicely. Now Hobart and has no one to throw to. Lamar Lathan was the man pressuring Hobart. Played here in the city for Pardee at the University of Houston. Intercepted by the Oilers at the 40-yard line, and the clock will stop with 12 seconds left in the half. Kenny Davidson, if spent judiciously. Salisbury deflected and incomplete at the 25-yard line. He was trying to find Ernest Gibbons or Pat Coleman.
Lee Johnson.
Salisbury. Reggie Brown. 2 seconds left.
There was contact there.
In practice. On its way and no good. Dies off to the left. So that's how the first half ends. Del Greco with a long try from 58. The Oilers and Raiders battle through the first 30 minutes, 9 aside.
So to look at, I mean, we saw Harvey Williams and Tom Rathman running together. We saw McCallum and we saw Montgomery running together. They still want another combination, I think, or two to try to find 2 guys that can play all day long, because I think that's when your running game works best. Montgomery got the ball the most. Nice 5.3-yard average. Harvey Williams showed some signs of brilliance. He can bounce inside and out. Got great acceleration. A big player. Well, those are all pluses. Disregard the quarterback's running stats.
Jaeger kicks it off. We're underway in the second half, and down it comes to Travis Hanna. Little speed runner, and finds a crack down the sidelines, and finally bumped out of bounds. Albert Lewis in Raider territory, but I believe he stepped out back in Houston territory beyond the 40, but a good return, 36 yards for Travis Hanna. And Jaeger was the man who got just enough of him to get him out of bounds. John Dockery?
He not only stepped out of bounds, he ran out of bounds into the white. You know, I talked to both coaches, Dick, at the half, and Art Shell told me the reason he didn't start Hostetler was much what you and Bob said. Wanted to avoid injury and felt that he's ready for the regular season. He'll be there for the 49ers next week. He liked the running game. I mean, he really liked Montgomery and Williams. On the other side of the coin, I asked about Jack Pardee, about his starting quarterback, Cody Carlson, his performance. He said the offense was just disjointed, could never get on track. Said he threw some balls that weren't on target and wasn't real happy with his performance. Back to you, Dick.
All right, Doc, and a flag down on the very first play from scrimmage. And we'll wait for the officials to sort that out. Movement on the forward wall. The neutral zone is going to be watched more closely than ever.
Offside, number 56, defense, 5 yards, first down.
Andre Bruce.
I think with that new neutral zone, you're going to see guys try to anticipate the snap, Dick. You're going to see a lot of this happen in the regular season. Try to get in sync with the quarterback and just get that extra little step to be across the line of scrimmage.
Now, as the Oilers line up, the offensive linemen only have to have their helmet to the waist of the center instead of to his numeral. So that moves them away farther from the defense. Tillman to the corner and knocked out of bounds at the 50-yard line. Another flag down, of course, so what's new. But what we want to emphasize also in the second half, how difficult it's going to be on teams that like to play man cover on pass defense, because that cornerback can't get up on that wide receiver.
You're absolutely correct. It can also affect all kinds of pass protection or pass rush.
Holding, number 72, offense, 10 yards.
Left tackle Brad Hopkins.
Dick, on the previous play, you saw the Houston Oilers offense, their line with their hands down. And in previous seasons, this line had to pretty much play from a 2-point. Even in some situations where it was 3rd and short, you could see the holding by Hopkins in the background and just drug him to the ground. It was White, number 96, that he just dragged to the ground.
Better. I like Brad. Alberto White intercepted on his way for a touchdown is R.J. Coors, who was just activated today. Coors cut earlier in the week, and with the Raiders shy, a defensive back picks it off 38 yards for a touchdown.
That ball was floated out there. Absolutely floated. Should not have been thrown. Sometimes the best choices by quarterbacks are things they don't do.
And you can hear him chanting, Bucky, Bucky, right off the bat.
Watch what happens here, Dick. He never really sets up. He's got a little pressure in his face. He's trying to force it into Spencer Tillman. Coors just got off the plane. He didn't even make the trip down here with the Raiders. And he signed him because Lionel Washington had a leg problem. Spent the entire camp with him. That'll leave an impression for R.J. Coors on Art Shell.
Jaeger adds the extra point, and the Raiders lead 16-9 as Coors from Long Beach State goes 38 on the interception. Here in the South, 16-9 the Raiders, and it's Hanna again. Toppled at the 20-yard line. Randy Jordan, a running back, making the special teams tackle. And tonight, a reminder on NBC, don't miss Empty Nest, followed by the Mommies. And then he's made America laugh for years. Tonight, he introduces some of the brightest new stars of comedy, Bob Hope, and a special guest.
Younger than Bob Hope.
They're all
young comedians.
They're all young. Spencer Tillman has played the entire game, carries out to the 25, and we're getting word now of an NFL trade. Tommy Maddox who left UCLA after his sophomore year, signed with the Denver Broncos as their #1 pick. They wanted him to take a cut in pay this year to get under that cap. He said no, and so the Broncos have traded Maddox, who played his freshman year at Oklahoma, to the Los Angeles Rams for a 4th-round pick. So Hugh Millen will now be #2 in Denver. Salisbury batted in the air and very close to another interception. Alberto White, had he turned the other way, he had it. Austin Robbins deflected the pass, and Bucky Richardson here's the support for his cause.
Look at those numbers. 32 yards total offense when it comes to passing the ball. 5 of 17. Actually, these fans are doing Bucky no great favor by wanting him in this game. He's very comfortable where he stands right now.
Who, me? 3rd down and 5. Salisbury, 1st down. Mario Bailey, who twists away, and he's all the way to the Raider 46-yard line. 28 yards, the biggest gain of the day for the Houston offense.
And Dick, with the exception of the opening series, we've not seen the Houston Oilers go with the tight end or extra running backs. They've stayed with the run and shoot. Here's a nice little out pattern run. Hoskins on the coverage on the inside. Eventually Bates, 24, makes the tackle. But that's one of the interesting things about the run and shoot. It isolates defender on receiver. If you break a tackle, it's generally a long gain.
On the 6th, Houston 1st down. Tillman. And he's to the 42-yard line, close to a 5-yard gain before Greg Biekert, number 54 from Colorado in his 2nd year, can make the tackle.
Boy, is he a story. Greg Biekert told us last night he wasn't sure he'd make the team last year. And then when they get rid of Joe Kelly, Biekert is announced as the starter. This guy played middle linebacker at Colorado in a 34 defense. They have great faith in this young man to back up this Los Angeles Raider defense. Says he's an outdoorsman, doesn't really like to watch sports on television. Not big, 235 pounds. A lot of responsibility on that young man's shoulders.
Very bright, though, they say. He doesn't make the same mistake twice. He's picked up his responsibilities quickly and loves to hit. Middle linebacker Greg Biekert. Timeout. Talented gymnast tonight in prime time. Shannon Miller, Dominic Dawes, 2 great Olympians doing battle for the national title. 2nd down and 6 for the Oilers in Raider territory. Trailing 16-9. Tillman. And they're giving him plenty of work as Tillman battles close to the 37 near 1st down. Derek Hoskins and Dan Land on the tackle. One of the questions for the Oilers as they approach the cut down to 53 tomorrow, Sean Jackson and Todd McNair. McNair, the former Chief, and Jackson, who played at Florida State, the rookie. Will they be able to make this team? And if there were 2 lone voices in Houston that didn't like the news that Lorenzo White had re-signed, those are the 2. There's Jackson and Todd McNair, a good all-purpose back with the Chiefs. Maybe out of work only because Lorenzo White returns.
Well, there's other bad news. I mean, neither one of these kids has played from scrimmage in 2.5 quarters here. That's not a good sign.
Timeout. 11-11 remaining in the 3rd. Has not played today. Vince Evans got the opening call. Was rattled once on a blitz, and the ball popped free into the arms of Eddie Robinson, the Houston linebacker, for a 40-yard touchdown. The only touchdown for the Oilers. In fact, neither team has scored an offensive touchdown. R.J. Kerr's interception, 38-yard run. The only touchdown for the Raiders as Spencer Tillman, again, the warhorse today, down to the 35 and a 1st down. He's the only Houston running back with a carry, in fact, for Jack Pardee. Tillman, 39 yards on 9 attempts. Salisbury batted in the air again. Another one. Dan Land, one hand, not quite there for the interception. So they're into the face of Salisbury.
Dick, that time that Oilers had 2 tight ends, 2 wide receivers, 1 running back. In for protection. 1 tight end releases, but the hand gets up in the face of Salisbury. Now, I don't think he's throwing the ball low. He does have a good high release, but that's about the 3rd or 4th time we've seen the ball tipped at the line of scrimmage.
He's 6 for 14 today. 61 yards and 1 interception that went for a touchdown.
There's 3 wides, a tight end, and 1 running back.
Neutral zone infraction. Salisbury perhaps with a free play overshoots his man on the near sidelines as he went for Travis Hanna.
And you see what Kevin Gilbride is doing here. Here's the call. Offsides by the defense. But Salisbury is much more comfortable with the standard set.
If not the most productive offense in the league the last 3 years. Caught from behind and down as Alberto White from Texas Southern has the sack and a flag down.
I'll answer that question in a minute here.
White with 3.5 sacks in the preseason to lead the Raiders.
Oh, sack and Houston is holding. To answer.
Holding number 72 offense. Penalty is declined. 3rd down.
Second holding call against Brad Hopkins.
And this is the starting left tackle for the Houston Oilers. Hopkins. Oh, White just eats him up. Hopkins just tackles him into the ground. Apparently, the 9 sacks allowed last year in the Kansas City playoff game, overlooking the fact that Mike Munchak was out, David Williams was out, offended the owner of this franchise. And he wants a tight end. Yes, for more touchdowns. It really messes up the run and shoot.
Tillman on a screen that works well and appears to have first down yardage inside the Raider 25. A dozen on the pickup.
Tight ends are nice, Dick, but when you're changing an entire offense to accommodate a tight end, it doesn't work. And in the run and shoot, it's a total commitment, and this is an important part of the package. The little screen passes to Gary Brown, Lorenzo White, here Spencer Tillman have worked and worked well. That's what you try to do with the run and shoot, is confuse the defense and always get those one-on-one mismatches that favor the offense.
Following up on the tackle. This is to Mario Bailey, and another flag down. Greg Biekert with a stop. And another flag as Raider Rob Fredrickson becomes entangled with one of the receivers of the Oilers downfield. Or no, Stan Thomas, a lineman. There's the rookie from Michigan State. He was the Raiders' first draft pick.
This against Houston. And now there's another flag.
Yeah, McElway's gone to his flag and to his hat. I don't know in the protocol what he throws off next, but let's stay tuned the way it's going. I think he's got his bean bag. He's still got a bean bag. And then hopefully the microphone would be fourth. No, we need the microphone now with all that stuff on the floor of the
Illegal use of hands, number 70 offense. Also, an unsportsmanlike conduct, number 70 offense. Official.
Oh, that's a fine, too. That's a fine, too. Bumping an official.
Personal foul, number 20 defense. The penalty's offset. We will replay the down. Number 70 is disqualified. Bumping an official.
Stan Thomas from Texas, the offensive tackle, is gone. Derek Hoskins was the first down. The Oilers must penetrate the 15. Salisbury behind and fumbles. Audrey Bruce forced the fumble, and the Oilers able to get back in time to fall on it, apparently. John Flannery, 55, the guard. That's not Salisbury's fault.
No, it's not.
It's again chant for Bucky.
And Hoskins is the starting left tackle. This will be his first season, 72. Hand on the ground. He takes an inside rush. We got the wrong guy. It is Flannery who lets him in. That's not on Hoskins. It's on Flannery. And one of the problems the Houston Oilers have is they've got 2 new guards in Donnelly and Flannery. This is the first full starting season for Hoskins. The quarterbacks in the run and shoot need better protection than that.
Flannery missed all of last year with knee surgery. Gissendaner, the rookie from Northwestern, who was the Big Ten Player of the Year a couple of years ago as a junior. A 20-yard catch for Gissendaner, battling for an NFL spot.
Again, a little angle drop by Salisbury. Gissendaner is not, you know, Salisbury does have a sidearm delivery. That's the first time I ever really noticed it, but we had a perfect view of that. If John Perazis, our producer, if you can keep that, we can go back and run that, and you can see that thing came out from behind the defender's helmet.
Down at 14. Trumpy can do it all. Produce. Through the hands of Travis Hanna. And through the magic of television.
What are we going to see next? What are we going to see next?
Thomas as Del Greco tries a 46-yard field goal. Plenty of distance, and it is good. The Oilers cut into the Raider lead. It is now 16-12.
It was nothing that was sewn and seamed.
But what a thrill just to get on the uniform of your favorite team and compete in LFL Stadium. So sign up, no charge. 16-12 as Al Del Greco to kick it off with 7:45 left in the third quarter. He hits this one toward Calvin Jones and out of bounds, and that becomes a no-no for kickers this year because it's 30 yards from the kickoff spot. So when the Rules Committee moved it back to the 30, that means that the opposition on an out-of-bounds kickoff takes over at the 40-yard line, their own 40. Don't forget the volleyball $1 million tournament, the biggest ever, the Miller Lite AVB Championships at Hermosa Beach. Superstar Karch Karai on the left, and Ken Steffes will put their title on the line against the top players in volleyball, including their arch rivals Mike Dodd and Mike Whitmarch. That's coming up next. The sun and the sand of Southern California. And Calvin Jones gets his first call from scrimmage and picks up 5 yards. Jones was picked in the 3rd round by the Raiders.
Dick, here's what I think the Raiders need to do to be successful this year. They don't need a lot of my help, but find and believe the running game. Chain Jeff Hostetler to the pocket. Last year he was too beat up. He's got to stay healthy. Find a consistent receiver out of the backfield to alleviate some of the pressure on the speed at wide receiver and turn the defensive line loose. And the Los Angeles Raiders will go a long way towards the Super Bowl.
Well, I certainly appreciate your help. Down goes Hobart. They're going to call it an incomplete pass as Keith McCants fighting for that defensive end spot with Lamar Lathan able to penetrate.
Oh, McCants got. He really hammered him too. Billy Joe got up very slow from the outside. Good move around the offensive tackle. Really froze right in his tracks, Robert Jenkins, and that's a major league hit.
Brings up 3rd down and 5 for the Raiders. Darryl Hobbs is in there now, and Hobbs has been a sensation this summer. Number 80 from the University of Pacific, a high school and freshman and college quarterback. Always seems to be open. It's going to have to hurry and just does get it off in time. Whoops. And he was looking for Hobbs to go deep. Hobbs had hooked at the 40-yard line. So 4th down Raiders.
Hobbs could turn out to be a great story because for the last 2 years he's been on the practice squad. He's been Randall Cunningham. He's been Jerry Rice. He's been just about anybody that they want him to be in the practice squad. Worked very heavily with Fred Biletnikoff with a speed bag, a boxing speed bag, to improve his hand-eye coordination into and out of the break. Some of the guys say he's the fastest.
And he's led them in catches with 14 and in touchdowns 3 this summer. And apparently has won a job on a very talented wide receiver core. Another Raider free agent. First punt of the day for Jeff Gossett. Raiders have moved the ball at will at times, just haven't gotten it into the end zone. Travis Hanna lets that one go out of bounds, and they're going to mark that one up around the 20-yard line. Actually, not even that good. 24. 31 yards on the punt. And another flag.
What? Another flag?
John Powell Richardson. Now, how could somebody with the name John Powell not be Boog Richardson?
I don't know.
They should have been Boog. I guess his family weren't baseball fans.
Boog is not from Texas either. When in doubt, it's Bucky in Texas.
Now, Richardson, he's the Jack Armstrong of the state. Played at Texas A&M. As a college quarterback, had over 2,000 yards rushing. Was not regarded for his throwing ability. Wasn't picked till the 8th round by Houston a couple of years ago. Hands it off to Sean Jackson, the Florida State rookie. Held it down after a short gain. Kerry Brabham from SMU. Salisbury can't be too pleased. That interception went for a touchdown.
No, and I do think this sidearm delivery, which I'm sure the Houston Oilers knew about before he got here, that doesn't work with the size of the defensive line. I mean, that could be a reason for a lot of Sean's problems completing passes.
Richardson's first pass today. Mario Bailey, first down. Crowd's in it now.
Now remember, Bucky Richardson has thrown a grand total of 4 passes in the NFL, completed 3 of them, no touchdowns. And I guess people have dreams about this guy leading the Houston Oilers to that last step. Bucky Richardson
hardly built along the NFL quarterback physical lines. He's 6'1" and 228. He played special teams as a rookie quarterback.
Volunteered.
He's a tough young guy. Good looking arm there. Oh my! Malcolm Sebron. Sebron, 40 yards as Sean Salisbury. He understands the love for Richardson. Richardson eluding the pressure, throws, and almost intercepted. He had a man crossing open, but Dan Land did a good job at knocking it away from Mario Bailey.
That was taking a chance. He did an excellent job on this bootleg, avoiding the defensive end who was staring him right in the face. Watch coming right to the right. 84 Duff. Excellent job of the little fake to throw it and then move away from him. Look, Richardson has talent. There is no question about that.
There's Sebron. He said, how about me? And Dan Land actually covered 3 receivers. Second down. And Richardson falls on the muff snap.
Dick, every time they have put a tight end in this offense. Last year, anybody in the history of the game, he's the guy who backed up Munchak, who couldn't practice during the week.
3rd and 17. Richardson. And well covered was Bailey on that. Double teamed, and Patrick Bates, number 24, one of them. So 4th down. And here comes that field goal unit again.
Del Greco. He's been the star of the Houston Oilers this preseason.
Richardson gets a supportive hand as he comes off, and Del Greco with 3:58 left in the 3rd quarter, trying to pull the Oilers within 1. 40-yard attempt. Camarillo to hold. A missed extra point now. The difference in this being a field goal for a tie. He's got it. Raiders 16, Oilers 15. It's a little tough. I think he left training camp with about 18 players one year with Pardee. It started things in the right direction, he said. All right, Del Greco with the Oilers within 1. Gets this one toward the rookie Jones. Coverage by the Oilers, led by Todd McNair, the former Chief, number 37, and Steve Brown. Steve Jackson. Next Sunday, football live kicks off our '94 season next Sunday. Jones, who rushed for over 3,000 yards in his 3 years with the Huskers, 40 touchdowns, finished as the second all-time Nebraska runner. Grew up dreaming of wearing the big red, he told us. I am hip. He started to rattle off all the men that he remembered cheering.
And then he had to share the duty with Derek Brooks. Excuse me, Derek Brown. Nebraska, the wee-back set.
Jones again. Kid's got a piece of him, and finishing the tackle, Lemansky Hall, a rookie from Alabama.
This has got to be a tough time for a lot of these guys. A lot of these guys are going to be going home. They got to cut down to 53 players tomorrow. And some of these guys are going to feel like they didn't get a fair shot. Some of them are going to go home and say, well, it was politics. You know, I was the new guy. They like the old guy. There's a lot of excuses for guys that don't make it. But
well, some hoping to play well enough they'll be put on the developmental squad, or that they'll catch the eye of a coach somewhere else.
I don't know that anything has happened in this game to anybody to catch the eye of somebody else, Dick.
Kind of like the way McElwee throws the flag. Hobart has it knocked out of his hands and barely nearly into the arms of the Oilers. Is that ruled a fumble? Yes, it is. And the Raiders recovered down at the 2-yard line, 7-yard line. Baron Wortham, number 52, was the man that knocked it out of the hands of the quarterback Hobart. And now they're saying the Oilers have recovered, and Hobart can't believe it.
That was a great 40 there by Billy Joel Hobart to get over to McElwee.
It's ruled a sack and a fumble, and the Oilers have it at the Raiders' 7-yard line.
Arm going forward? Yes, it was. I think that should have been a sack. I think that ball was knocked out as his arm was going forward. Max Montoya eventually appears to make the coverage here.
No, Jeremy Nunley, the rookie from Alabama, scraped it away.
But Nunley does pull it away, so it's first down Houston Oilers.
Oh, wait a minute. Bob McElwee has come in, and they may be changing their mind. They have ruled it an incomplete pass. And a proper call. Although that young linebacker Wortham from Texas El Paso, but he does start forward, and he catches the hand, knocks it away.
Now, we were told that Wortham is going to have a major impact on this football team. He's made some outstanding plays and showed great speed.
6th-round draft pick, and he's been the most productive of the Oiler rookies. So Gossett to punt. Hanna lets it go out of bounds, and the Oilers are going to come up with good field position. Flags predictably are present, so we'll see what the penalty situation. Holding against the Oilers, and that'll go. That's an automatic first down if it happened before the punt. And Art Shell and
number 24 on the receiving team, post possession foul, enforced from the end of the play. The receivers keep the ball.
It was after the punt, so the 44-yard punt, and the Oilers have it, but will be sent farther back toward their own goal. As you see, Shell doing a little education with the 21-yard line. Bucky Ball, second possession. He took them deep on his first try. Completes to the 31-yard line. Out of bounds goes Mario Bailey, who has been his favorite receiver. Bailey, who played at the University of Washington, typical run and shoot size, 5'9", 162 pounds. He has 3 catches today. He was the number 2 receiver this summer with 10 coming in.
And he goes out. Tight end comes in. I think the offensive coordinator, assistant head coach Kevin Gilbride, trying to do his best to accommodate management, ownership, to put the tight end in the game. But this team is a run and shoot team. And any combination of offenses really puts this team back. There's 2 tight ends in the game now.
And Henry Mills as the H-back. And to the 31-yard line, Sean Jackson. It'll be close to a first down as Austin Robbins, rookie from North Carolina, 4th-round pick, number 95, made the stop.
All right, we did this earlier with the Raiders. I think those things would help the Houston Oilers be successful this year. I mean, it's easy to remember that they lost the playoff game to the Kansas City Chiefs 28-20, gave up 9 sacks. It's difficult to forget that they also won the last 11 games of the season. This is an offense that has functioned over the last several years. Yes, there are problems with it at times, but Jack Pardee, he loves to run and shoot.
When you look at the statistics, of course, they can lie, but the Oilers have been the top 3 in offense the last 3 years. Richardson, after the first down on the sneak, throws. Is it roll to catch? Yes, at the 50, but a flag is down. Bailey again.
Why not? Let's have another flag.
It's against the Raiders, so that'll be waved away by Houston. We'll return after these messages from your local station. With Bob Trumpy, John Dockery. The difference in the game, the Oilers, after scoring a defensive touchdown in the first quarter, missed the extra point, and the Raiders lead 16-15. 2 defensive touchdowns, 3 field goals aside. The offense on either side unable to score a touchdown. Bucky Richardson trying to change that and hits Malcolm Sebron, the Fresno State rookie, 3rd-round pick. R.J. Coors, who has a touchdown with the interception of Sean Salisbury, makes the stop. Houston quarterback report card. Carlson with a bagel. Salisbury 93 yards, but an interception that went for a touchdown. And currently Bucky Richardson 5 for 7 is Matt Salisbury's yardage total.
Not good, especially the last exhibition game. Not good. Too many choices now we got to make next week.
2nd and 2.5, and Richardson able to get the pass incomplete to John Henry Mills, and that was a good incomplete for Houston because 1, Richardson avoided a sack, and 2, Mills, had he caught it, would have lost 5 yards.
Yeah, well, now I know why they got the H-back of the tight end in this offense. He is an outlet receiver when the quarterback is in dire need of help. Richardson, a strong kid. White tries to drag him down. He's still able to get it off, but basically no play.
I mean, how about Alberto White? You talk about the depth of the Raiders. Here's a guy that has 3.5 sacks. He's just been in the quarterback's face all summer long, and yet he's going to be a reserve if he makes the team. That'll be a first down as he throws it to Bailey. For the combination of Bucky Richardson and Mario Bailey, undoubtedly they've worked often as the scout unit for the Oilers the last couple of years, know each other well.
And of course Richardson knows this offense well too. He knows the option routes. That's a big part of the run and shoot. And when the ball is snapped, both quarterback and receiver read coverage. There is a corresponding pattern run. And Mario Bailey could be a big addition to this football team, especially with Slaughter. Not really sure he's totally back from his knee injury.
First down at the Raider 35. Oops, Sean Jackson. By the time he got the ball, the Raiders' Aaron Wallace had him along with Austin Robbins. A loss of about 3. Well, in fairness to Salisbury, he was working against a more experienced, more veteran Raider defense, and Richardson has some luxury. There are less of those first-teamers in there, although Aaron Wallace is a starter.
And they certainly want Sean Salisbury to be the backup quarterback. There is no question about that, because Kevin Gilbride, the offensive coordinator, has said we are going to make the choice as to who the backup is on a projection, how they're going to be in a month. That's saying we're going to give Sean Salisbury another 5 weeks. He also happens to pull down $1.1 million a year.
Richardson reaches up and pull him down, and how he got out of that mess, even though he takes a loss back at the 45-yard line. Raiders down his back all the way. 7-yard loss.
Andre Bruce was chasing him.
Interesting, a starter Bruce still in there in the 4th quarter.
I think they're trying to decide whether or not this guy can play 4 quarters. He beats the double team. Norgard 64, Hoskins 72. And just picked up again right off the quarterback's back.
They allow progress to the 44, 3rd and 19. And the drive as Richardson would like to get close enough for Del Greco to try a go-ahead field goal. Down the middle, incomplete. Ooh, hammered was Lee Gissendaner. Patrick Bates, All-America from Texas A&M, made the hit. Not the only hit he's made this summer. He made a hit with Albert Lewis. I'll tell you about that later.
right in the middle of 3 guys in coverage there. Richardson trying to force it in, but then he's got nothing at stake here.
Financial hit. He sold number 29 to Lewis. Lewis's number, he'd worn it last year. Said, I really like it. And Lewis said, how much? I mean, I really like number 29. It cost Lewis a pretty penny to get his favorite 29 from Bates. A high kick by Camarillo, and it bounces out of bounds at the 5-yard line. And with it, timeout, 12 to go. Raiders by 1. 12:06 left in the 4th. The Raiders by 1. After Camarillo's punt, Billy Joe Hobart starts deep in his own end. And gives to Derek Gainer, reacquired by the Raiders from Dallas. As we go to John Dockery.
Hey, Dick, did you hear that? That sound along the sidelines? Billy Joe Hobart actually used a system. You know how many times the game is disrupted by crowd noise? Well, the quarterback and the NFL are trying to change that now. Quarterback has the ability to press this button on his helmet and activate a microphone in a system called the Audibilizer. Then that sound is taken over through his shoulder pads, a transmitter here, which then goes to a series of speakers around the field at the 15-yard line so that the wide receivers and the offensive linemen can actually hear the play.
Oh, you can hear that hit as Calvin Jones drilled by that Baron Wortham. He's going to go from Baron to Earl and right up the Regal ranks the way this kid hits.
I talked to some of the Houston Oilers coaches. You can't hide this kid. In any game that they play, he shows eventually what kind of talent he has.
Reminds me of, it's hard to say Singletary or Mills, but he's built along those lines and has such a great sense of where the ball is.
Willie Lanier. Yeah, Willie Lanier. Another guy built that way.
Over from his own end zone. Underneath the Hobbs, tackled at the 11, short of a first down. Wortham got him. Remember that name, Baron Wortham from Texas, El Paso. What a pick, 194th selection in the draft.
Not tall, but heavy, has great skills, and reads defense as well, but look at his lateral movement. Oh, that's outstanding. That's good acceleration. You like that out of a little guy like that, yeah.
Little 244-pound guy.
Well,
short, not little.
Short, yes.
5'11", and that's why he was overlooked. So Gossett will have to punt, delivering from the 1-yard line with another flag down. Gissendanner lets it bounce out of bounds. Couldn't quite get to it. It was off the field of play, and let's check the penalty. Clock stopped with 9:59 left in the 4th quarter after a 45-yard punt. McElwee saying, man, come on, you guys. Do it right. Against the Raiders, we'll see if the Oilers, who like to go after the punt, will force.
You know, Dick, the other thing is, too, the officials can't take any part of a game off and relax on the rules. They've got to call what they see.
Gissendanner will get a chance, perhaps, to return this one at his own 42. 50, 45. He was a star returning kicks in the Big Ten for the Northwestern Wildcats. Lee Gissendanner, 51-yard punt, 13 on the return timeout. Raiders lead 16-15, but the Oilers with the ball at the Los Angeles 44-yard line. Coaches and players study information. Let's get John Dockery to audibilize a bit more on the system being used this year.
Audibilize on the system. It's actually being tested by the NFL. If it's well received, they're going to use it in maybe the playoffs the next season. But one interesting that a Dallas offensive tackle afterwards used the other night came out and actually hugged the guys who did it because he no longer had to look away from the defensive end who was rushing to find out when the ball was going to be snapped. He could actually concentrate what he was doing. So he loved the system as well as the wide receivers, Dick and Bob.
Bucky Richardson, no one there except Raiders. So they have 4 large speakers located around the 15-yard line on the 4 corners of the field, and especially for the visiting team, that will amplify the sound of the quarterback signals. And it's those tackles out there in that island who can't hear, have to look at the ball to be snapped in the noisy indoor stadiums that will benefit most in the Astrodome and up in Seattle or in Minnesota. where the crowds can be a factor.
Sure, that takes
Superdome in New
sure,
Orleans.
and that takes away some of the home field advantage the audibilizer does. That's why it's such a good idea, and it's 20 inside the 20 on both ends. So in the scoring zone, everybody's on the same page. It's a level playing field.
Richardson has a man, and it's Bailey again. Mario Bailey, first and goal.
Hoskins 20 is down. He's a starting safety. He is down on the sideline. That's an injury that the Raiders can ill afford. Already with Washington out with an injury.
Derek Hoskins, the starting strong safety, Southern Mississippi. And Hoskins, a starter, playing with 9:29 to go in this game.
You hope it's a bruise. You hope it's not a bad injury. You hope it's not an injury that is going to put the Raiders in a soft spot here where, let's see if we can pick up what happens.
Comes down on his left knee.
Yeah, I think it will be a bruise. Yeah, hit hard on the AstroTurf.
He holds the right knee.
I couldn't see anything on the right knee. But Art Shell ran over there immediately.
That's what they're testing, the knee.
So watch the right leg. Right leg. Oh, it may have hyperextended there slightly, just slightly when his foot hit the ground and trying to get out there to the receiver, although he's up walking, so you hope for the best.
Derek Hoskins will limp off, but the good news is that he's going off fully under his own power. Meanwhile, the Oilers on the Bucky Richardson strike to Mario Bailey. That's a half dozen times they've connected. 36 yards on the play, and it's first and goal at the 8-yard line.
He leads this receiver perfectly. Just puts it right out there where only the receiver can get it. Hoskins has little or no chance to make any kind of an interception. Excellent pattern run by Bailey. Again, behind the defensive back. Watch his right leg. I don't know. I can't judge from the way his leg hit how serious the injury might be.
Trailing by 1 with 9 minutes plus left in this game. Richardson hands off to Maston. Lachey Maston. He's an H-back, a 232-pounder from Baylor in his second year. He was a college Lions. Richardson. Touchdown. The flags are down. Bailey again. Boy, are they on the same page. Richardson and Bailey. Does it count?
We've got a couple of flags down, Dick.
Only 2. Backfield in motion or motion penalty against the Oilers, and a roughing the passer penalty against the Los Angeles Raiders. So the touchdown won't count.
Illegal shift against the offense. Personal foul. Roughing the passer. Number 84 defense going to the head. That's a 5-15 situation. By rule, the 5-yard penalty is disregarded. Half the distance to the goal line for the 15-yard penalty. First down.
John Duff, the culprit for the Raiders, hitting first and goal now from the 3 for the Oilers. Maston, the H-back, shifting out. Richardson throws. A touchdown. Trying to give his team a 7-point lead.
Okay, 2 wide receivers, 2 tight ends, 1 running back.
Well, Richardson has indeed been the star. The Texans know what they cheer. Looking for Maston. Overshoots him with a flag down, and the Raiders may have been holding. No, it's not Maston, 48. It's number 49, rookie Roderick Lewis, 5th-round draft pick from Arizona. And the Raiders saw him getting away and are penalized. So from the 2-yard line, that'll take it to the 1. Oh, my. 8:33 to go. The Raiders have the lead. from the 1-yard line. They're going to run it this time. Number 47, LaShawn Maston, who scored the touchdown, comes up with a rare 8-point play. Touchdown and 2-point conversion. Back the line, so it's not so easy to get.
I mean,
It is 16.
These guys are professionals.
Most of them can fire that jump shot too. Good kick. Del Greco. Here comes Charles Jordan, receiver. He's to the 21-yard line, and the man who hit him first was the Baron. Todd McNair there to finish the job. Hey, next on NBC Sports, the richest tournament, $1 million AVP Tour, Miller Lite AVP Championships in Hermosa Beach, California. Big crowd out on the beach to see 2-time defending champions Karts Karai and Ken Steffes. Best in the history of the sport. They put their title at risk against the very top players in volleyball, including arch rivals Mike Dodd and Mike Whitmarsh. The Miller Lite AVP Championships.
California.
Now the Raiders, who have got most of the game, hand off to a number 23 from North Carolina named Jordan. Only this one's Randy, not related, Michael.
Yeah, the Jordan you're talking about is still playing in Birmingham, right? The Barons.
Seems to be getting better each game, doesn't he?
Yeah,
Is it just because we have more of an opportunity to peruse those minor league box scores.
Yes, he's up to 198, I believe. So that is improvement.
It's amazing. Well, that's amazing how well he has done. Jordan again. And there. Well read by rookie Henry Ford. The Oilers are wondering whether this is a Thunderbird or Netzel. He came in overweight and was disappointing, but he was their #1 pick out of Arkansas, and they feel he's got a wealth of talent. Great hands is what they like most about him. They can really fight off those big tackles.
But he has not worked particularly hard in training camp. He's lost some weight, but at this level, you got to be self-motivated to get it done. And Nunley, the second choice they had, has performed a lot better than he has.
3rd down and 10. Incomplete. As Obert able to find John Morton of Western Michigan for a first down out at the 37. Steve Jackson made the tackle.
Obert has thrown the ball very well, Dick. We know he's feisty. We know he's got a temper. This kid looked like Mike Ciani. Remember him when he played with the Raiders up in Oakland? Has that high knee action, long stride. But this is a tough team to make at wide receiver.
Clock ticks down to 6:23. Raiders by 7. Jordan again right into the teeth of that defense, and Ford with another tackle along with Baron Wortham.
Kind of a delayed blitz that time for Wortham, as you see Hoskins. This is exactly what Art Shell, any head coach, does not want to see. A question about an injury. Now you got to make your roster next tomorrow, I believe, at 4 o'clock Eastern time at 53. Now Art Shell doesn't know about Derek Hoskins. Do we need an extra defensive back? Do we let him go? I mean, the worst possible situation for a head coach.
And with Lionel Washington also injured, didn't suit up today. They signed R.J. Coor just before the game. Down the middle. Complete again. This is to Charles Jordan at the 40. Not related to Randy. Blaine Bishop makes the hit, and Hobart has his team in Houston territory at the 40. 25 on that play.
And Dick, this young man knew he was about to get hit. He does a great job of concentrating on this football. As it comes in, he can see the guy out of the... Yeah, he ducks his head, but he ducks it after he catches the football.
Played at Long Beach City College 1 year. Free agent. 5'10" and 175. First down at the Houston 40. Gary Gaynor and Randy Jordan behind Hobart.
Blitz.
Hobart. And he's unable to get it to the tight end Kevin Smith, who is from good Raider heritage. His dad Charlie was a star running back with a silver and black 1968 through 74 up in Oakland.
He was a teammate of mine at the University of Utah. Only then he was a wide receiver.
Charlie Smith.
I didn't realize his son was that big. But wouldn't that be something? A second-generation Raider.
Kevin is 6'4" and 255. 2nd and 10. Right into Lemansky Hall, the rookie from Alabama, and Henry Ford, 92. Yeah, nothing much there for Randy Jordan. 4 carries and he's a -2 yards. Down to 4.5 to go. There's Randy.
Wish there was some way. Both these teams are at 60. Wish there was some way that every team could keep all 60.
Well, they can pretty much. They can go 53 plus
53,
5, right, for the developmental squad. But it all depends on the cap.
Yeah, which is more in the shape of a cone, you know, like Dunk's cap in the corner. When they think of the salary cap, they don't.
Well, you're an ex-player also. I mean, that's you got to defend that.
Yeah, well, my $15,000 would have been under any cap. A lid, a beanie.
Yeah, but Paul Brown was.
Yes.
Just felt terribly that he overpaid.
Yes, he did. He wanted some back.
Think of the other side.
And he used to check our locker to make sure we didn't take shorts or socks or towels home at night.
Only because you did. 3:58 left, and Hobart and the Raiders have stalled at the 40-yard line, out of field goal range. And Jeff Gossett will line up in punt formation, and he is going to kick it. That one's only going to be for about 12-13 yards. We'll be back. Timeout, 3:52 to go. That's us, and our director Larry Cavallina, Ross Slingshot Schneiderman taking care of all that penalty yardage. Thanks to Kevin Eschenfelder and Denise Seelman. They're helping the booth. 3:52 to go. Houston tried to run out the clock, leading by 7. That was a 9-yard punt by Gossett. 8-point Maston straight ahead to the 36-yard line, a gain of nearly 5.
Well, now the controversy created by Sean Salisbury's inability to get anything done and Bucky Richardson's ability to ignite the crowd and get something done. Now you got Jack Pardee asking or answering more questions, and at the end of training camp you'd like to have as few questions as possible, but Sean's performance and Cody Carlson's performance, it'll be written about, talked about, and I don't know that they are fully aware of what they've got yet as the season starts next week against the Colts.
Point Maston again, and out of bounds at the 38-yard line.
Yeah, well, they ought to cut him for running out of bounds right there.
Alberto White.
Cut him on the spot.
Come on, 8-point Maston. No. He's given the Oilers the lead.
But this is where they wanted the extra tight end and the H-backs. They were going to redefine their offense, change their offense to accommodate this. A 7-point lead with, 3:07 to go, run out the clock.
Well, Karts, Karai, and all those great volleyball stars joining us watching the conclusion of this preseason. The Oilers and the Raiders, and we'll go right out to Hermosa Beach at the final gun. 3rd down. Clock stopped at 3:07. Maston wrapped up. Alberto White first to get there, number 96, with plenty of help. Andre Bruce and Mike Jones. There's Dick Corey on the left. Charlie Baggett, receivers coach.
Yeah, Corey came in to help Kevin Gilbride kind of put in the tight end and H-back offense, because Kevin's now an assistant head coach, and I don't think it's working. It's just so difficult to teach an offense that's so different than any other offense, to run and shoot and combine it with another one that they've not looked good offensively.
Yeah, I think, Bob Trumpy, a lot of fans listening would say, come on now, you've got, what's the difference? 4 wide receivers, so you have 3 wide receivers and a tight end. How difficult can that be? Thought I'd hear you defend. So
I hated the offense when it started. And the perception that inside the 20 this offense doesn't work is incorrect. Last year they had a poor year, not a bad year inside the 20.
Ooh, a dangerous snap, and Camarillo, good hands, a former high school baseball star, to the 19-yard line. Darrell Hawkins returns to the 33, and the Raiders have 2 minutes and 41 seconds to try to tie it or go ahead. Let's look ahead to the start of the regular season. Here's in a moment. The Raiders open with a classic also, a Monday night game in San Francisco. Billy Joe. And it's caught out at the 42-yard line by Darrell Hobbs. Hobert trying to hustle his team up to the line of scrimmage. Baron Wortham and Steve Jackson with a tackle.
Get as many plays off before the 2-minute warning as you can. Save that 2-minute warning as one of your timeouts.
Second and a long one. Derek Gaynor and the rookie Calvin Jones behind Hobert. Hobbs out to the right. Jones, good burst of speed. He's out the 49. Ooh, down goes one of the officials very hard, slamming his head on the ground, and the umpire hopefully okay. 2-minute timeout.
Don't drop any passes, and please no overtime.
Let's get back to the beach. Come on, we're waiting, we're ready. We're standing by.
Hey, we're with you guys. We're with you. 23-16. The Oilers and the Raiders. Although you can't convince Raiders fans. We can report that Bob Boylston, the umpire, is okay. Took a. We'll give you after this play involves the schedule maker and the weather. Hobert on first down. Goes deep for Hobbs. The incomplete. Blaine Bishop was the man who went flying across. The Raiders, unlike seasons past, the weather for Archell's team has been an enemy. Now, the last possible cold weather game this year is scheduled at Kansas City first week of November. That could be a beautiful time of the year in Missouri.
No question about that.
Unless the playoffs.
Yeah, this is the regular season, and that's after the San Francisco game. Raiders really have a very nice schedule here for a while.
And Baron Wortham again. This young man might just be a budding star, not just a backup. He's done everything right.
He has earned his way to this spot too. Started out on the special teams in training camp. And Dick, when you've got a short linebacker, I mean, it's hard for him to show up in practice. It really is, because he's around so many big people. But this guy has shown in every practice and in every game something else that the Houston Oilers coaches like.
Yeah, they had the fine rookie last year from Miami of Florida, and Michael Barrow, he was the pet of Buddy Ryan. And now working this year. Wide open is Jordan, Charles Jordan, and out of bounds at the Oiler 30-yard line. First down, Raiders with 1:13 to go. That one worth 30 yards.
It kind of looks like the Houston Oilers defense kind of slowing down here a little bit in coverage. But he just runs the out route, and he's wide open. I mean, there's not anyone close.
Emmanuel Martin finally got him out of bounds, number 20. But the Raiders 30 yards from a tying touchdown. Hobert drops the ball and recovers it at the line of scrimmage.
Well, he got hammered right on the head too by Teeter 71 when he went to the ground.
Not going to spend a timeout here and now do with 1 minute, or is that an official timeout to spot the ball, and now they wind it again.
Could you hear it? He stood there for a minute to hear the call from the sideline, and then he went right to the line of scrimmage and stopped the clock.
So that'll bring up 3rd down and 10 for the Raiders, and 53 seconds left. Billy Joe Hobert, who you saw how he emoted on a couple of occasions this year, just the contrast, the antithesis of his coach. Hobert was the drama major at the University of Washington, and would like to come up with one final line before the curtain falls on this preseason.
Actually, if he's going to have one, let's make it 2. The touchdown and the 2-point conversion, not the extra point.
That would seem solid logic, wouldn't it? 3rd and 10. The sidelines tipped and denied. Tony Brown, 22, tipped the ball. It was intended for John Morton. The flag goes down, but on the tip you can't rule defensive interference. But Jackson made contact, but on the tip ball that might be waved off.
It also might be a late hit.
Well, let's see. Oh yeah.
Personal foul. Unnecessary roughness. 24 defense.
Steve Jackson, the man with the NFL's best goatee.
Penalty.
Can't see it with a
Half the distance penalty.
Chin strap.
Automatic first down.
I agree with this call, Dick. He's looking right at the ball. He can see it go by and takes that extra step for the contact.
Even hesitated when he saw the ball go incomplete.
Yes. Henry Ford gets his helmet in the chest to Billy Joe Hobert, too.
48 seconds left and a first down for the Raiders at the 16-yard line. Over the middle to Hobbs and nearly a tying touchdown. Jackson able to deflect it. Ball was just a little bit short.
Yes.
Had it been leading Hobbs, that could have been a 6-pointer.
Thrown down into the ground ever so slightly, of course, down inside the 20. You want to do that to avoid the interception, but Hobbs has got to reach back for it. That allows Jackson to knock the ball away, and here's part of that drama major again.
A little Shakespearean flop for Billy Joe.
You can't overact, can't you?
44 seconds left. Now to Billy Joe Hobert and Bucky Richardson in this game. Hobert tried to thread it through the defense to the tight end Kevin Smith, who appeared to be the closest target. Charlie Jordan was there too. 3rd and 10.
Hear him listening. You see him listening, and he's turning on the audibilizer. He's turning on the audibilizer here. We should hear it here. He's looking for the button.
The end zone. Touchdown. What a catch by Charles Jordan. Acrobatic somersault midair. 9.8 difficulty. And Archell says we're going to win it or lose it right here.
Dick, Billy Joe Hobert had no idea where he was throwing it. Literally, no idea.
Here's a guy that probably won't make the team unless it's as a developmental player, but just shows you the incredible depth at wide receiver for the Raiders. A 1-point game, 23-22 Houston, and the Raiders will go for the 2 points for the win or take the loss by 1. They don't want to tie in overtime.
He just heaved it up there, and the kid goes and makes the catch.
Well, it's just the preseason, but if this were down the stretch, this would be a play they'd be showing time and time again in the evening news.
Now watch him turn his head away to throw this, and he just heaves it. And the defender, Blaine Bishop, is looking one way. The receiver comes back to make the catch. An easy 6 points. I'm not sure when Billy Joe knows that there is a touchdown. He may or may not see the catch. Bishop's just standing there.
That's pretty high difficulty, I think.
Yes, it is. He does see the ball caught.
Flair for the dramatic Billy Joe Hobert.
There he goes in his 40-yard sprint again. And Jeff Fisher, the defensive coordinator, I don't believe it.
Lamar.
What is that?
The ghost of Kansas City.
Lamar building. You can't do that in our building.
Well, there's 28 seconds left. Archell. Win would be nice to close out a 4-1 preseason. But what wouldn't be nice, apparently, in the head coach's mind is overtime.
Yes. We certainly agree with the head coach. As do those guys on the beach.
Jordan with his 3rd catch. Touchdown. 70 yards. Hobert. Receiver taken away. He gets it to Hobbs. Daryl Hobbs, who has been the star of the summer. He spears the 2-pointer. Is that big league stuff from from the backups for the Raiders. First Jordan and then Hobbs. Two free agent wide receivers making sensational plays, and the Raiders lead it 24-23.
Boy, you're right when you say he stabs this ball. I mean, there's good coverage. Look at it. Whoop, hands in, out. Oh, man, that's beautiful. That is all hands. That reminds me of Fred Biletnikoff. He turns around and he throws the football into the crowd, but watch this catch.
They had taken away 2 targets from Hobart.
When that thing hit his hands, it was stuck. It stopped spinning. It didn't bounce. We'll go for 2 all the time.
And Archell said, now who do you think San Francisco's going to play on that Monday? Who's going to start at quarterback for those 49ers? Let's go. Jeff Fisher doesn't like to see that. Looked to be a good defense. Had all the receivers covered. Hobart just kept running to the sideline, and finally Hobbs with that quick spin, that unspoken communication, and then makes the terrific catch. Biletnikoff said couldn't have done better. Well, maybe. $1 million Miller Lite AVP championships to follow, and there's been some good stuff in this final preseason.
Yeah, there has.
Penalty
Took a
plagued.
while.
Yeah, penalty plagued indeed. Not much offense early.
Billy Joe, Bucky Richardson,
Ray Childress.
What a catch. That was picture perfect. Dick, when you see the ball stop spinning, you know the kid's got some hands.
He led the high school, LA high school league in touchdown passes as a senior. That means he's a pretty good quarterback.
Yeah, that's right.
Goes up to University of Pacific. They, after his freshman year, make a wide receiver out of him, and he's been a project for 2 years, but he's learned his lessons well. Just 28 seconds to go. Travis Hanna at the 10. And stopped at the 26-yard line. Now Bucky Richardson with 24 seconds left. He got the Oilers back in it and into the lead. Mike Teeter, who's a scrapper, and Alberto White. Talk about the salary cap. Teeter from the University of Michigan. He's a blueberry farmer in Fruitport, Michigan. And
oh, Bucky's unplugged there. I don't like that. I mean, if you got the equipment, it'd be plugged in.
He's 8 for 13, 139 yards. He's stolen the spotlight from Cody Carlson and Sean Salisbury, the number 1 and number 2 quarterbacks, out of the shotgun. Fires for number 83, Sebron, Malcolm Sebron. 20 seconds to go. Dan Land on the coverage for the Raiders. $20 seconds to go. The biggest prize in pro volleyball history, they tell us. $1 million out there.
That's hard to believe.
Hermosa Beach.
2-man beach volleyball playing for $1 million. That is hard to believe. That's how much that sport has grown.
Richardson off his back foot to Richie Brown, and Brown out of bounds to stop the clock at the 32-yard line. 14 seconds left. Vince Evans and Gerald Perry saying, and Daryl Hobbs, we got ourselves something here. Fred Biletnikoff. That was the kind of catch that the Hall of Famer Biletnikoff
used to make. The only difference is Hobbs did it without stickum. Freddie always did it with stickum.
Richardson. Scrambling and out of bounds. Stops the clock at the 39-yard line, but only 7 seconds remain. 1, maybe 2 plays for Houston. Well, the only thing this last quarter doesn't have would be Richardson, the local hero, the people's choice to throw some miracle final touchdown play.
You mean like Doug Flutie did down in the Orange Bowl a number of years ago?
Doug Flutie, how about the way he's just found a great career up in the Canadian Football League?
And he's one of that league's stars, isn't he?
He is the star, I believe. Timeout. Just what the doctor ordered. A timeout.
What? Bucky, throw it deep. How much instruction do you need, pal?
This is his time, and he is going to enjoy it to the final second.
Yeah. Kevin McGilbride saying, son, you don't need to hear it from me. Get it in the end zone.
Well, don't forget next Saturday. Well, first of all, tonight, the National Gymnastics Championships in prime time on NBC. Next Saturday, 2-hour special, 4 o'clock Eastern, 1 o'clock in the West. Preview of the coming season, kickoff 94, the 75th National Football League anniversary year, and as well as the run to daylight, a test of all the top running backs in the league, or many of the top, in the various drills that comprise their total talent. And then next Sunday, a week from tomorrow, it all begins the 94 season. Great lineup here on NBC. Bob and I will be down at the Superdome. Joe Montana and the Chiefs against Jim Everett, the new quarterback of the New Orleans Saints. Bucky to the sidelines to Brown. He gets out of bounds with 1 second left. He's got the Oilers at the Raider 43.
They're sending Del Greco in here. He's going to try a field goal.
So here's Al Del Greco.
60 yards.
60-yard attempt. The longest Del Greco has ever kicked successfully in the regular season is 54. So this is pushing the limit. And it's going to be a little longer than 60. 60 and a half. Camarillo to hold to win it for the Oilers. And first, a timeout.
There wasn't an offensive lineman on the field, and he was supposed to be.
What do you think? Del Greco got a shot?
No.
It's no shot,
No.
even indoors?
No, I don't think so.
Well, the odds are long.
Al's got a strong leg. There's no question about that. And in pregame, he was hitting 58. But the trajectory you need to get at 60. The Raiders just put Scott Davis in. They put several other guys at 6'5" or 6'6" or better.
Preseason records, of course, are washed away. They're forgotten as soon as the regular season begins. Well, Del Greco, this is like trying to knock the ball in the cup from 180 yards away.
Easily, yes,
yeah,
it is.
This is the Eagle shot. Happens now and then. Well, they laughed when Tom Dempsey lined up for the 63-yarder.
That did look ridiculous because the goalpost was on the goal line and he was standing at the 37 and made it.
60 yards officially. He got it up, but he didn't get it long enough. And the game ends. The Raiders 24, the Oilers 23. For Bob Trumpy and John Dockery, I'm Dick Enberg saying so long from the Astrodome in Houston, Texas. This has been a presentation of NBC Sports in our 30th year as your home of the NFL.